So today I'm going to talk to you about one of the very first important steps in business, and that is how to get the word out. So many entrepreneurs come to me and they say, I have this great idea, this is what it is, but now what? How do I let people know? Where do I find them? How do I start? You've built an amazing community and you started from ground up. How do I do this too? So I always share the story with them about what I did when I launched my own business, Bump Club and Beyond. So 11 years ago when I started Bump Club and Beyond, there were no Facebook business pages. And I know that now that's a very hard concept to wrap your head around, but there were no Facebook business pages. Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, all of that social media was so far into the future and that wasn't even on the radar. So I had to go back to grassroots and I had to really go back to the basics of marketing. And I always encourage entrepreneurs and business owners that they have to do the same, regardless of the resources and the social media and everything that's available to you and at your fingertips right now. It's imperative that you go back to the basics. So what are those basics? So the first thing that I tell every single business owner that they must do when they launch their business is they need to send an email to every single person that they know. Doesn't matter if you haven't talked to them in 20 years. If you have their email address, send the email to them and include them on your list. You want to let people know about your business. You want to let people know what you're doing. You want to ask them to follow you on social media. You want to ask them to help spread the word. You never know who you know that could benefit from your business and who they might know who could benefit from your business. So it's important to get the word out because those people in your network, they're going to be your biggest proponents and your biggest cheerleaders from day one. The next thing I'm going to tell you that you should do is you need to post an announcement on your personal social media. So on your personal Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, you want to get the word out there as well because again, you don't know who's in that network that might be able to benefit from what you're offering. And again, you want to ask people to spread the word. So even in that social media post, ask people, share this with your friends, let people know what it is that I'm doing. The next thing that I want you to do is to think about your audience. My audience for Bump Club and Beyond when we started, my primary audience was expectant parents. And as we grew, that grew from expectant parents to new parents and eventually parents. So I very much thought about that audience. I thought about where they shopped. What were they doing? They were going to buy baby gear. They were buying maternity clothes. They were doing prenatal workouts. They were registering for their showers. Those were the types of things that they were doing, especially when they were expecting. So you want to think about those things. And then you also want to think about who else reaches this audience that doesn't compete with you, but complements you, and that maybe would want to partner with you because at the end of the day, 2, 3, 4 businesses working together to reach one audience, that is certainly better than one. And then step 3 is you very much want to use your customers to help spread the word. Your customer is your best asset. And for me, they became our community who we turn to first and foremost for everything, even now today, 11 years later. But they are my biggest word of mouth marketer and they will be yours as well. So what did that look like in terms of asking, customers and using your customers to spread the word? The first thing is you want to make sure that every single experience with your brand is amazing because you want to give them something to talk about. So how we did that was we were an event-based company to start. So now we do content as well. But in the beginning, we were very much primarily events. And after every single event, whether it was a free event that people just RSVP'd for and came, or whether it was an event that they paid for a ticket for, after every single one, we sent a survey. We asked about everything. Everything from the check-in process to the food that was served, to the flow of the event, to the information provided. We wanted to know it all because we wanted to make a flawless experience for our customer. So we also, when we followed up with them, asked them not only for their feedback, but we asked them to spread the word, to bring their friends, and we offered incentives to them for doing so. So if they brought a friend, maybe the next time they saved $10 on an event that was ticketed. And those were kind of the incentives we built, and we asked them what incentives they would want from us. So we launched our business and we grew our community through basic grassroots marketing. That was really how we got started. And it really wasn't until we got a handle on that and we got a handle on our audience and we saw that word of mouth marketing and grassroots marketing was really helping our business to grow, that we started taking revenue and putting it back into a bigger marketing plan. So once that was established, we were able to create a social media plan. And that's a whole other conversation. We were able to invest in some publicity and a publicist and really generate some PR, some paid advertising, and eventually paid social media as well. But before getting into anything fancy and spending a lot of money, which I want to reiterate, you don't need a big budget. You don't need to spend a fortune to really help initially get the word out about your business. But I want you to walk away from this with asking yourself 4 things. Who is your core audience? Because this is who you're going to focus on 90% of the time. Who is your secondary audience? This is important too, because that secondary audience also has a network. They also can help spread the word. And it's important to know who that secondary audience is and what they're doing as well. You want to ask yourself, what are their shopping habits? What are their consumption habits? What media do they read? What blogs do they read? What websites do they go to? What is my audience doing? And from there, you can take a look at what are other companies that are reaching the same audience that we could work with, and we could work together and really leverage our skill set to reach this audience in a more impactful way. So once you've established this information and you've come up with these answers, you can make a plan. You can start reaching out to companies, to these customers, and you can really leverage this information to help grow your business from the start with very little money. So if you're interested in more tips or learning how to create your own marketing plan, you can absolutely reach out to me. This is the stuff I love to do. And I very much challenge you to start with the basics, because you will be surprised by how far those basic marketing techniques can get you, especially in the first 3, 6, 9, and even 12 months.